Every day you have a gigantic place in your heart for those that serve. Those are our service members, but certainly the first responders that we have in this great country. And you play a game on 9/11, my goodness, it resonates to no end.
Just extremely honored to be able to play in that kind of stage on 9/11, just remembering all those people. Just extremely honored.
The words of Coach Calhoun and running back Brad Roberts of Air Force. The sentiments echoed throughout all of Academy football. Welcome back to Behind the Lines, the Academy Football Report. I'm Erin Summers. As the Falcons and the Middies prepare to take the field on Saturday, our nation will once again be reminded of the tragic events that took place 20 years ago, of the lives lost that day, and in the conflict that followed. September 11th, 2001 is a day that changed our nation and the lives of so many forever. The Service Academy men and women were quickly faced with the prospect of war. Here is the story of 4 Academy football players who lived that reality. The 2001 Academy football season started just like any other. Excitement and expectations for a new season.
We had a really good season before, even though we didn't win as many games as we wanted to. We had a lot of high expectations and a lot of excitement going into that season. And we really, our first week was against Cincinnati.
Army lost in the final seconds of that opener, but hopes remained high for a successful season. Navy started the 2001 season 0-2, and then everything changed.
Another plane just flew into the second tower. This has to be deliberate, folks.
I'll never forget walking into my room and watching the first tower collapse, and was like, what? What is going on here? And right then, everybody knew. They had freshmen out with their bayonets standing in front of the doors to guard stuff, and we had F-16s overhead. We had all this stuff going on, and we're all like, what is happening?
As news of the September 11th attack on the United States spread across the country, football took a back seat.
Coach Weatherby at the time, and he brought us in and started talking to us and saying, be resilient, we're not going to play this week, let's get through this. This is way more important than football right now. And we're all shocked because on the team, we're all getting ready to go serve. And what are we walking into? It's scary.
Football games that following weekend at every level, college and pro, were postponed as the nation grappled with a variety of emotions and how to respond.
We all knew what we were signing up for, but it became very real that day.
It drastically changed, everybody on our football team as well as the entire Corps of Cadets and what our trajectory would be then once we graduated from West Point.
I think I can speak for myself and a lot of our teammates. We wanted to go do something about it. We wanted to get involved.
We went immediately in a couple hours from a peacetime military with not too much conflict going on in the world to a nation at war.
As life began to move forward at the academies, the Black Knights and midshipmen tried to fight the emotions and keep their focus on the field.
I think people's minds were in a lot of different places. I know there were people that knew people in New York. There were people that knew people at the Pentagon.
We took football, I would say, even more seriously because it was an opportunity for us to better ourselves as people and as teammates, and to be ready to go one day in combat. Where else better than to be at West Point playing football to get ready to be on the fields of combat one day.
The 2001 season culminated in usual fashion in Philadelphia with the annual Army-Navy game. Navy heading into the matchup winless, Army with just 2 victories.
It's more than a football game. The Army and the Navy coming together as a representation of what's good in our country in pure competition, knowing what lies ahead. And so I'll never forget it. I get goosebumps thinking about it right now on that day, and helicopters fly over, and just what it really means for ourselves, for our families, for our country.
However, that year, the Army-Navy game represented even more, as the players battling on the gridiron would soon be brothers in arms, fighting for our country in a war against terror.
I think it took me 10 years to be removed to just realize the magnitude of that game for the nation. For the nation, I think it was more of a patriotic symbolism of what right looks like in America, of two teams coming together that are average athletes, but they're out there to compete at the highest level and then get ready to truly be brothers in arms, to go recognize and go see what it means to fight on bigger fields.
I remember in one part of the game when I had my hand down on the field thinking, these guys are doing the same thing we are. And absolutely, you realize that special bond you have with the people on the other side of the field with you. And over the years, even when I was deployed in Iraq, I came across guys who I played with either with Army football or for Navy football. And the first thing you do is you start telling stories about the Army-Navy game or who won or who lost. And so you absolutely do. You build a bond with people that lasts forever.
President George W. Bush visited each team's locker room before the game. Then, all eyes were on Army-Navy as quarterback Chad Jenkins led the Black Knights to a 26-17 win.
Right after that, I knew that my destiny as a football player was over. It had expired at that point, and it was now time to shift gears and to kind of shift that focus of, okay, it was Army football, now it's leading our future sons in combat. And that shift took place pretty quickly after that game, really.
Two midshipmen who played in that 2001 Army-Navy game later died in combat.
Ron Winchester, he played football with us, and he got killed in an IED explosion. And then J.P. Blecksmith got killed as well. He was a year later. And so I think the realization became real when that happened. We knew we were going to have to go to combat. We knew that. But when people that start dying, that makes it a lot different scene.
9/11 changed the lives of these cadets and midshipmen forever. Brothers in arms, forever bonded, forever remembered. For everyone at Behind the Lines, thank you to the men and women who have served or are currently serving. And those who have given their lives for this nation, their sacrifice will never be forgotten.